These are questions from around the world sent in to Capitol Records about the release of the new record, Solid Gold Hits. We'll start with this. The collection of hits for some is the soundtrack of their lives. How does it feel for you when you hear them all together on this album?
It's the soundtrack of our lives, anyway.
For me, I just span the range of emotions. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I laugh myself to sleep, and just more importantly, when I hear all the songs together in sequence, I just love seeing the king in his red.
You laugh yourself to sleep?
Yes, I do that too. And then I give myself a little belly rub to calm myself.
I like that.
How do the older songs sound compared to the newer songs to you?
The older songs sound, they sound upset but very strong. And they sound like some young men who are they're very mature little boys.
You know, some of the newer songs
making them
comparatively have a lot more top end than some of the other stuff. Yeah. You know, actually the Licensed to Ill stuff had a lot of top end. And we kind of leveled off for a while. And then the new stuff was just really up there. So in order to make the sequence work, we actually had to dip the top end just slightly on some of the newest songs to put them in the same ballpark.
I like the newer songs better than the older songs. I'm just going to go on the record and say that. But I think that's how everybody is. That you make your stuff, you like the older stuff, but it just seems what you're more into is what you're into now.
I like a lot of the older stuff myself, especially hearing like So What You Want and Passing. Like some of those joints sound nice, but I like some of the newer stuff too. I'm not angry.
Has the enduring success of the early, like the first album, surprised you?
Surprised us now or surprised us then?
Both.
Is it still surprising?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it was almost more like initially surprising. Like when we put out, it was like we made Licensed to Ill and then we were on tour for a while and then all of a sudden it came out and then all of a sudden it was a big record and then we went through that whole process of like, oh my God, people know who you are and you're playing shows to tons of people and you never imagined you'd be in that position. That was just a lot more of a kind of a whirlwind and an alienating and a strange process than, now it's just kind of like, oh wow, people still, buy Paul's Boutique and Licensed to Ill. That's kind of interesting, but it's not like, it's not something that's hectic on your life that you're going through.
Can you take us back to like 1983 and the very first days when you guys made the transition from being kind of a hardcore band to the hip hop? Like, what was that like? What was the reaction in the audience?
Well, back then our pants were much tighter. Clothes in general were much tighter. More snuggle.
Snuggly.
So it's a more free. Oh, what was it like to transition from then? I don't know. It was just sort of some.
Oh, go on.
I had something really.
I thought you were stopping. I thought you were done.
It was just something to do. I don't know. Was there a big? Did you?
Well, I was just gonna say
struggles?
like even when we were a hardcore band, I think we were really into hip hop. We all used to listen to hip hop all the time, and we used to rhyme a lot. Anyway, like, just like rapping on the street. But anyway, then after we put out the record Cookie Puss, when we were trying to figure out how to do that live, we started doing some some rhyming in the show.
Hip-hop.
Like we play hardcore for a while, and then we put down our instruments, and then we kind of like rhyme a little bit, and that's kind of where Rick came in too, because we needed a DJ. So we actually hired Rick as a DJ, and then we started getting more and more into doing rap stuff, and then we started like writing rap songs, doing whole rap sets, and then we started recording hip hop, and so it kind of quickly transitioned over that way. But that's kind of how, and we were already kind of into it for a long time, but then we just started doing it on stage. That's the frog.
Let's go back to the questions. This kind of ties in. On this, on the DVD companion, there's going to be a clip for Brass Monkey, a live clip. You want to tell us about that performance or about having that?
The Brass Monkey thing that's on the DVD in the package is actually excerpted from this film that we put together, this movie of us playing at Madison Square Garden.
World's most famous arena.
Yes, where we actually gave cameras out to the audience. We gave 50 cameras out to the audience, so the audience shot the movie, and then spent a long time trying to figure out how to put it together.
Did you get all 50 back?
Yes. Nobody is screwing around.
Hearing all the hits in one package, what genre of band is the Beastie Boys?
It's when you say it's rap, I mean,
Well, it's a rap record.
Well,
It's
we
a-
are
it's a
a
rap
hip hop
record.
group. We're a hip hop group.
It's a rap record.
But I think you could also file us under early American roots recordings as well.
I'd say there's 3 songs
If you like.
on the record that kind of go in sort of a rock direction. Fight for Your Right, Sabotage, and No Sleep Till Brooklyn. But even with those rock
Those aren't
joints,
really-
they're kind of hip hop too. They're kind of like rock hip hop tracks in a way.
Is there a typical way that Beastie Boys tracks are created?
There's no weird, set way that we make songs and stuff. A lot of times it will start with the beat, the sample of the beat.
There's times where a lot of especially the Ill Communication and Check Your Head songs, a lot of times we would just be playing music for hours. So out of a 2-hour dat or an hour dat, there'd be, most of it would suck, but there'd be one little part with literally 1 bar or 2 bars or something. It might even just be a breakdown of something, just a guitar part or a keyboard part or a bass part or whatever. And it's okay, we take that little part and then build a whole thing around it and then add a bunch of stuff. And then we get the lyrical idea, oh, that would be cool if we did something like this over it.
Whose job was it to weed through all the tapes then? Would that be one of you guys, or did somebody help you?
We would go on separate weed duty missions. Whoever was their turn.
Yeah, I never remember, all of us, I think individually, because we had also different tools, Adam was big on the SP1200. I would use the MPC, the Akai, but I remember just a lot of times listening to stuff and then you find something cool and be okay, I'm gonna loop, just take this bar and then do that and then add, I got some kicks and snares that'll work good with this, and
I got
let's
some
go
weed
from there.
duty.
Yeah, everyone's got to weed through the stinky dat pile.
And then lyrics always come later, or do you stockpile lyrics at all, or?
A lot of times we just write for a track, we just loop up part of a beat we're working on, and then we all just sit around and write for a while, and then put some stuff on it. Weed duty, also.
Yeah, because actually that's a different kind of weed duty, because a lot of times it's when we'll have a track and we'll just loop up, say 8 bars or a 16 bar verse or something, and playing over and over again in a day in the studio, and we'll sit there writing, and it's what we put down that first time will be
Weed duty.
not the most productive verse or whatever, and then it's really going through and being oh man, what was I on that day? I gotta come with some. But then it's also good because it's the 3, but that's kind of also I think part of what helps us in terms of being in a group, is that it kind of it just takes one man. There's no I in team here. It just takes one person to step up, and then it's everybody else has to raise to that level. Of course, usually it's me, but that's another story.
Mike
you that-
often has to take the team on his shoulders.
Wait, it's you that has to step up, or you that sets the benchmark?
Both.
Are you the spotter or are you lifting?
You the guy who crouches down behind the guy, or the guy that pushes him, or the guy that gets pushed? Sorry.
Is there any one tour that you guys will look back and remember?
Quasar tour. I will always remember when we stayed on Binya Avenue on the Quasar tour.
When we played on the boat,
Yes.
that was memorable.
In the
memorable.
pirate-
That was very
Pirate
fun
costumes.
up in Binya, and we'd eat the mango fruit.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
So those were
Good
good
time
times.
for the group.
Good times.
Good times.
Did you ever think that that you guys would still be doing this 25 years later?
You mean that my mom's "you need something to fall back on" speech hasn't come into play just yet? Don't know.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, when we did our first records or even License Sale or any of that, I don't even think any of us thought we'd be doing it. We never thought we wouldn't be doing it, say 5 years after that, but we never even thought, okay, 5 years from now or 10 years from now, I'll definitely be doing this or that. It's kind of...
Didn't really think about anything else, so I don't know why I wouldn't. I don't know.
I think we were on weed duty.
Don't really think so much.
It seems there was a period of time when you guys were kind of distancing yourself from the License to Ill material, but now the stuff is showing up more and more in your sets. Has your attitude changed towards the early material?
Now that we're bringing it into a tight embrace, a close bonding embrace.
Well, it's standoffish embrace. You know, I embrace it, but you know, not fully.
It's almost
what I
like
mean?
it's almost like we're putting it up on a board to give it a massage, and we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'll massage it, but I'm not gonna like get out all the candles and lotion and incense and stuff.
Yeah, should we hold the album cover? Do we want to be seen with this thing?
Well, show the back is nice though. Back is nice. Ain't a damn thing changed.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. And cut.